I'm gonna give y'all a little secret about public speaking. You can always tell how long a person is planning on speaking based on the size of their water bottle. If you didn't see it back there. Welcome to the best spring semester. You know where I'm going with this by now, don't you? So I'll start from the beginning. Welcome to the best spring semester in the history of Cosumnes River College. Give yourselves a round of applause. As you know, we have a new format with spring convocation. You know, traditionally we will have Chancellor King along with the district vice chancellors come and give an address at each of the colleges to start off convocation here at CRC. The chancellor and the vice chancellors today are at Sac City enjoying their convocation, but we are still very fortunate to have in our midst the president of the board of the Los Rios Community College District, Trustee John Knight. Please stand, John. It's absolutely a pleasure to have you with us today. I'm pausing on purpose. You worry, say, oh, did he forget what it is he was going to say? No, I'm pausing on purpose. We're talking about today getting back to the basics. And one of the things, and the reason why I pause is that I never want to take this moment, this space for granted. No matter how many times I do it, I don't want it to become perfunctory. Because I really believe that any time we have the opportunity to be in each other's presence, to occupy the same space, to be able to learn together and to grow with each other, it is extremely important. So I want to always make sure that I gather myself, to make sure I'm the best of myself, to be able to give in a way that honors the space that we're in. One of the things as I was reflecting in preparation for the idea of getting back to the basics, and it's actually not one of my slides, and it was confirmed to me when I had a brief conversation with Greg Beyer, was this idea of the importance of being acknowledged and recognized, and how important it is simply to be seen. How important it is to simply to be seen, to be acknowledged. And I want you to know is that I see you. All I said, I have the best position in the institution is not because I'm president, but it's because of moments like this where I have the opportunity to look out at the faces, at the people that make up our institution. I don't think we take time enough. Let me make it personal. I don't think that I take enough time to acknowledge the work and dedication and effort that you put in to serve our students. Because literally when I walk the campus every day, I see magic. When I walk by your classrooms and I see students engaged, when I hear you lecture, when I see our staff members walking a student across the campus instead of pointing them in the direction that they must go, that's magic, because that interaction that you have in the classroom is literally transforming and changing lives. You don't know what moment that is. You don't know what lecture that is going to be, but I guarantee you there's a moment, there's a lecture, there's an exchange between students that's making all the difference in the world for them, and you do that, and I see you. And I see you, and I thank you for all of your work. And I apologize if I have failed to acknowledge that enough. One of the things that I've recognized is that we talk about trauma and how trauma affects students, but there's also a such thing called institutional trauma. And as we begin to turn the page as an institution, we have to address that we have people in our college that has been hurt and damaged and pricked by the institution. It's not a matter of being right or being wrong. I always say this, that there's a difference between being right and being righteous. And I give this example all the time. If you are at an intersection, a four-way intersection, and your light is green and someone decides to run a red light, it is your right. It is your right to go ahead and proceed through that intersection. But what would happen if you decide to proceed? You would crash. The person who ran the red light would lose their life, and potentially you would lose your life as well. But guess what? You would lose your life being right. So sometimes, even when you are in the right, and someone could be dead wrong, there's something that's called grace. There's something that's called patience. There's something that's called forgiveness. That you would allow them to proceed. So once they go through the red light, if you're able to see them again, there's an opportunity for correction and conversation and discussion about what happened, but you have the opportunity to do that because you both are alive. So we have an opportunity to get it right again. We have an opportunity, CRC, to be righteous, not about right or wrong, but about the basics. About the basic idea of loving our institution enough and the students we serve to be righteous. So we're talking about going back to the basics. Anyone know who this person is? As a Laker fan, it pains me. Ooh. Oh, you jumping way ahead, but you're getting there. Who said that? Yeah. And what's his name? Tim Duncan, right? Tim Duncan is, see, James ahead of me. It's called the Big Fundamentals. I believe Shaquille O'Neal gave him that nickname, right? He wasn't flashy, right? And I know I usually don't make sports analogies, even though I would love to do it. So forgive me for doing that. But he's not flashy, and the teams he played on was actually quite boring. Like I would never want to watch, even though I didn't like it. Just because the game wasn't exciting. You know, they were during the time of the Lake Show. You had teams that were really flashy, but the Spurs was just basic. They made the right pass at the right time. They moved the basketball. They were just fundamentally sound, and it was embodied through their best player, Tim Duncan. But where did the basics get him or get his team? Only 5 championships, that's all. 2 league MVPs, that's it. He was excellent because he mastered the basics, because he mastered the fundamentals. You know, I do this thing, if you've been here, called, what's that say, Convocation Confessions. I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn this into some type of, I wouldn't say book, I'm not going to put that much. I'm going to turn it into something. At least I'm going to track it and write it down. So my convocation confession is that there's been times over the course of this past semester and this past year that I felt somewhat professionally and personally out of alignment. Am I the only one that every now and then, especially getting close to the end of the year, that you give yourself kind of this wellness check? like you plug yourself into this metaphorical diagnostic machine, and just begin to kind of take inventory of where you are. And I felt that I was a little professionally and personally just out of alignment, not bad, not horrible, but just not all the way there, not all the way myself. And so as I began to do that, what came to me was I was negating or forgetting to do the most basic things. If you don't know me, sometimes I can be somewhat attracted to the flashy stuff, the latest and the next great thing. And my management team's like, shh, God, he just now realizing that? You know, doing the things that's best and works next. But one of the things that dawned on me in this time of reflection, that no matter what new thing you add, unless you have mastered the basics, none of it is going to work. So there's a couple of things that I personally decided to do. I'm just going to share a couple for fun. One is like, don't use up all your words at work. I don't know if you all know what that means, so let me explain that really quick. There's a theory out there that men only have a certain amount of words during the day. And that theory is like around 15,000 to 10,000 words. And I'm not just saying this because my wife is here, Dr. Janice Bush. Even though I would take brownie points in any form that it comes in. And I'm not above even using convocation to get brownie points. Because it's that serious, right? This is a theory, so you only have about 10,000 words a day for men. And so if I use 9,999 at work and only have 10,000 words, it's probably not a lot of conversation I'm bringing to the table when we go home. So I'm going to save some for home to engage in some dialogue. So if I just walk by and nod or wave, it's like, oh, he's saving his words. And no offense, right? And we're going to keep it pushing, and next time I'll use it up on you and then just nod at the next person. All right, we do that. Another piece is to practice gratitude. I mean, sometimes I don't know about you, I don't jump out of bed just excited every day to come CRC. I know that's a blow sometimes. Some days I do, some days I don't. But as I sit back and reflect, I think about, say, there is literally millions of people that would trade places with me in a heartbeat. Working at a college to do the things that we are allowed to do every day and get a couple weeks off during December and January. Right? Basic stuff that we take for granted sometimes, that we don't realize of how privileged of a position that we are actually in. And so when we lose sight of that and our perspective begins to get skewed, often we find ourselves getting trapped in some things that are not really that important because we have lost sight of what is actually important. So when we forget about or don't practice gratitude or forget about the position of privilege we are in, it allows us to become distracted by things that's really not that serious. I don't want to say petty. I didn't say petty. I did not say petty. Again, I did not say that. But it's of less importance when we have the proper perspective. I think another piece when we talk about going back to the basics as an institution is that we have to each know our why. And I have a quick video I want to share that I think will illustrate.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books. I can be in a movie because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm gonna show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor, can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director?
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose.
So for me, getting back to the basics for myself, and I'm hoping it will be the same for you, is understanding and knowing my why. You know what I do. You know I am college president, but do you know why I do it? The reason why I do it is because I love facilitating organizational learning. And why I like facilitating organizational learning is because I want to put institutions, and our institution specifically, in position to be able to identify systemic and structural practices and behaviors that has made it difficult for our students to be successful, particularly those students who have been historically marginalized. That's my why. That's why I do this work. But if we're going to move forward as an institution, we have to be able to articulate our own why. We know you're a faculty member, but why are you a faculty member? We know you're an administrator, but why are you an administrator? So what I'm going to do, can you help me out? Something a little different. What's my time check? Anybody? 12 minutes, so we're going to end on this. I'm not going to do the rest of the slides. I want you to share, anybody willing to share their why, please. Can you stand up? Let's give her a hand, Lisa. Yes. And I said your name. Go ahead and say your name, Lisa, in the department. And what you do. Say what you do, then say what you do, then why you do it.
Okay, I have a Oh, thank you. Okay. This is cozy. My why is
Who you are and what you do.
who I
What
am.
you do.
I'm Lisa Marchand. I teach English as a second language. This is my third career. I've been teaching since 1969. But I just discovered my why. Not, more than 2 decades ago. Not the first 30 years, I didn't know.
Yeah, so justice 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Just so we got that. Okay.
I realized that all of us are here because we are the product of what we have taught ourselves to learn. And my why is that I can convey that to people who are just now learning how to learn. I'm not going to open your head and give you knowledge. I'm going to be your coach. I'm going to say, you need to make this goal, and this is the first step toward it. And I'm your coach. You are the one who has to learn to teach yourself how to get to the final outcome.
Good. Thank you. Who else? I just want to share their why. Denise, you better get it. Thank you, Christine.
And my why is to inspire, to illuminate, to help people see their worth, their value, to let them know that they matter, that they're important, and that they're enough, and to correct some of the wrong and some injustices that are done. And I have no choice to do that.
Thank you, Denise. Grant.
My name is Grant Parker, and first of all, I'm wearing red today to support my colleagues in Los Angeles. And my why is because I have this passion towards my subject area, and I want as many of my students to gain that passion as possible.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Grant. Sorry, Chrissy, I should have told you wore your tennis shoes. My bad.
So my name is Brandy Jones-Thomas. I'm the new Human Services professor. I've been a therapist for a very long time. So my why for students is to provide them the space to be healed, to enter the field in a healing space, and then also leave with a sense of humanity about what we do as therapists and counselors. So my why is everybody deserves happiness. It's a basic fundamental human need, and I hope that I provide that in the classroom.
Wow. I'm sure you have your hand.
Hi, I'm Sherry Fortin. I teach theater, and my why is because I want students to connect to their deeper humanity through the arts and explore creativity, imagination, and collaboration.
Hello, good morning, everyone. How you doing?
Yay.
All right, so I thought about why, and my name is Chris Torres. I'm a counselor. I work with the great folks in counseling, and I work for the Puente Project. And why I do what I do is because I figured out how to go above, beyond, and through the barriers that I didn't realize I was facing when I was younger. So what I've learned and why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I know how to lay the foundation. I know how to lay the path so that folks similar to me that didn't believe in themselves and didn't know how to see through the smoke, that they can find that path. And so I do what I do because I want to see folks that believe the way that I believed, that they can believe in themselves and they can do something that they never believed that they can do. That's why I do what I do.
I'm the interim coordinator for EOPNS, CARE, Next Up, which is the foster youth students. So my why is a lot of our students have been told their whole life that they don't matter, that they're not important. And so what I want them to learn is that it doesn't matter what other people think. What's important is what you think about yourself.
And it's so important to be happy. Okay, and everybody have problems, because our students think that we don't have problems. But everybody have problems. Okay, it's the way you go through them. And I believe that you learn from the good and the bad. At least you should learn. Some people don't learn, but you should learn no matter what your journey is, what you go through. If it's negative, that not to do that again, okay? Or if it's positive, that you learn from that. So that's my why.
Last one.
Try to get out of this chair, but we're kind of crushed in here. I'm Carol Bernardo, coordinator for the Work Experience and Internship Program, and my why is to assist students and to let them know that their dreams matter, and that there are opportunities out there, and there are limitless opportunities, and they can make it. We're here to help them, to assist them, and make their dreams come true, professionally, personally. That's my why.
Thank you for that. Let's give her a hand applause for hand clap for everyone that shared. Question. I'll just use this. I had more slides. And the funny thing is, I'm just going to stop there. But just in case I decided to change my mind, I was flipping to the next slide, and none of the slides would work. So the computer said, "Yeah, you're done too." Thank you for sharing your why. Hopefully you saw some commonalities in what it is that you heard. And as I begin to explore this idea of why, look at our institutional why, and I want to bring you back to something that I said I wanted to be a broken record of. So I want to go back to the basics of that message, and we're going to end this way. CRC is going to be the preeminent community college in the nation. Not because we want to brag or boast, simply because our students deserve the best. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that because we're going to improve overall success rates for all of our students, while simultaneously closing the gap in achievement. But we're going to do that without compromising rigor, so our students is best prepared to do the things that they want to do next. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And we do have a slide. I want to introduce the managers, but thank you.